Yeah, what is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. You know what that means. It's Wednesday. It's time to drop some value. It's time to grow. It's time to make sure that our businesses are on the right track. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, say what's up in the comments. I love seeing you guys pop up live. I love seeing your name. If you are here live, comment live. If you need the replay because you can't stay for the whole thing, comment replay. And if you guys are new with us tonight, we get new members in this group every freaking day, and it has been amazing. We've never grown this quickly within this group before. So if you're brand new today, comment new below. When I go live on Facebook, we do this every single Wednesday, and I've been doing it for a long freaking time. If this is your first Wednesday live stream, make sure that you go back and check the other ones, because every single week we're in here teaching you what is working right now to get patients in the doors of practices without an ad agency. So tonight, I'm going to be walking you through one of the most controversial live streams that I'm going to be doing all year, because I'm going to be walking you through the 3 pillars of successful in-house marketing, but I'm also going to be unveiling a lot of the lies and the deceit that the agency space sells physical therapy practices every single day. And what I've been seeing happen in the market has been pretty appalling, which has caused my partners and I to completely change our entire business and pivot away from agency space to put the power of growth back into the hands of the physical therapists where it absolutely belongs. So I want to start this thing off with a quote from Rick Warren, who is a legendary evangelical pastor. He says, "Those who follow the crowd usually get lost in it." And I want you all to think about that for a moment and think about how many things that you do just because you saw it was done that way before. Okay, what if everything you've been taught by people is incorrect or just incomplete? Okay, a lot of what people are putting out there is good and it works, but it's not the right time and it's just not a complete strategy. Okay, it doesn't work by itself entirely. What if the marketing, the whole reason that you're frustrated within your marketing is because you're modeling the wrong people or doing what they're doing at the wrong time? Timing is absolutely everything. You're at the right stage to be using it, or if you know the right information to make that strategy successful, it is so incredibly important that you have the right timing, have the right assets in place to make those strategies work. Now, over the last 6 months, okay, we've been working exclusively in physical therapy for 8 years, but over the last 6 months, we've trained nearly 100 practices be 100% self-reliant in their growth by teaching them the fundamentals of running patient-getting Facebook ads. And they are extremely easy. As long as you know the fundamentals, everything else falls in place. Okay, the technical components are so easy to teach. Okay, but the fundamentals are what make Facebook ads work, and they can be applied to every other facet of marketing once you understand them. So within the first 30 days of working with us, we've had dozens of our students generate their first 5K, all the way up to $15,000 in the first 30 days of implementing the system that we taught them. That is how incredibly fast and simple it is when someone just shows you how to do it. The stuff that most agencies do for people and charge, I ran an agency, a 6-figure agency, for 2 years. Okay, the stuff that we do is not difficult. It is very easy to teach. And what we're finding is too many people are hiring an agency long before they're supposed to. So the best part about our students when they do this is we get texts from them saying things like, it's like an adrenaline rush because they have new patients texting their phone every day, which is a really amazing feeling to one, just experience as a teacher and someone does that, but for them, because they're able to do it themselves, what they thought was possible completely changed. And all of the money that they're generating, they get to keep it. Okay, they don't have to give half of it away to an agency who really just kind of sat the campaign and forgot about it. Okay, there's not a whole lot of optimization that goes on within the strategies that a lot of these agencies are using, or what a lot of them are wanna agencies, we're calling it, kind of like they do not actually know what they're doing. They're following a cookie cutter template that another coach taught them how to use. But I digress. Okay, so how are these practices actually launching and managing this stuff in-house? By doing the exact opposite of what most coaches or agencies out there are telling them to do. Okay, they learned the 3 Ps that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, and they learned how to not only utilize them, but how to actually apply them, not just in Facebook, but in all the other areas of their business that allow them to, one, bring in way more people, build up way more interest in their brand, but also convert them at a much higher rate because they're different. Okay, too many people are out there struggling because they're trying to be like everyone else. Okay, and what happens when every single person says that they're the best? Consumers get confused and they just start comparing. And when consumers are confused and they start comparing, they're choosing off of price or convenience. Those are 2 areas no physical therapist wants to compete in. Am I right? So this is really exciting for us because, like I said, I've been working exclusively with PTs for the last 8 years. I've been running the 6-figure agency for the last 2. And what we have for you tonight is the most important and most valuable thing that we have ever done, because it is with just in the short period that we've been doing it, it is saving practices thousands, and they're growing at a rate much, much faster than they were previously. And they're finally able to break through the glass ceiling that they've been stuck at because they've been giving most of their money away to agencies who are doing the easiest bare minimum that they could possibly skate by with. Okay, so but before I dive into all that stuff, I want to break down what you can expect here tonight and tee up the content with some context on why we completely shut down our done-for-you Facebook ads business and decided to literally wage war against physical therapy marketing agencies that are in the space. So I want to know, I'm just curious, how many of you want to find out what truly is working to grow practices with in-house marketing, without the agencies? How many of you are ready for that? Hold on, let me. Yeah. Guys, if you're on here live, Comment Team Live, and if you're ready to learn what these 3 Ps are, what is working to get in-house marketing actually working, say hello, say what's up in the comments. I see 9 of you. Evan, Kevin, Chris, Javier, great to see you guys on here, all right? So today we're covering those 3 Ps of what makes in-house marketing actually successful, and it can be insanely successful, okay? There's a lot of assumptions that are made about the cons of doing in-house marketing, and all of them are completely wrong. There's maybe like a couple, but they're pretty fringe. They're not nearly as severe as most people think. Okay, we've been doing this for a whole lot of years, and we've learned a ton about what doesn't work and a few things that actually do work. And I'm going to be walking through and actually showing you everything tonight. It's going to be a little bit of show and tell. I'm going to be showing you what ads are working, and then I'm going to teach you the principles behind them as to why they're working so that you can replicate it. Okay, this isn't going to be a kind of fluffy live training where it basically, it's useless unless you buy the thing that I pitch at the end. Okay, this is not going to be that. This is going to show you the exact principles that make online marketing work, whether it's Facebook ads or anything else. The context in which I'm going to be sharing it with you is through Facebook, because that is obviously what we are the freaking best at. And if anyone wants to dispute that, we'll run some campaigns toe to toe. We ready? Michael, Hob, great to see you guys on here. Seamus, always good to see you, man. So if you guys have any friends or colleagues that you think would benefit from learning all this stuff, tag them, comment their names, get them in here, because tonight is going to be straight fire. So grab the notepad, because this is definitely going to be a note taker. These are very, very important principles, and no one wants to rewatch this whole video, okay? I'm expecting it to be right around the 30, 45 minute mark. I'm going to try to keep it short, keep it not fluffy, but those of you that have been in the group for a while know that I can go off on little tangents a little while. I'm a little passionate about these topics. So guys, go in the comments and let me know if, one, you've worked with ad agencies before. If you've worked with an ad agency within your practice before, comment me so I'm just curious how many of you have been there. And also, if you've ran Facebook ads, if you've attempted Facebook ads in the past and you braved the just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, I definitely want to know that too, because the people who are willing to explore, like AJ Cohen, AJ, great to see you on here, man. AJ is an absolute stud. He took our system and absolutely crushed it. AJ, awesome to see you on here and continuing to learn and improve, man. Love to see it. So yeah, if you've ran Facebook ads, let me know. And if you've worked with an agency before, comment me below. I definitely want to know, engage everyone in the group here. So this is important because right now we're living in the golden age of Facebook. It will never be better to be in Facebook and running ads than it is right now. You'll never get as much reach. You'll never get as these low click rates than you are right now. It is only going to get more expensive. Ads will never have the reach and be cheaper than they are right now. So our students who are implementing the system are getting texts every single day asking for appointments, and they're pulling in thousands of dollars every single month, and they're keeping every cent of that. Okay. The problem is though, and what I'm truly passionate about, and this is the problem that I finally found, like the thing, like this is what I'm meant to do, is that there are way more practices that are falling into the agency loop of terror. That's basically what I'm calling it. And if I can, let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. So you can see this thing behind me. Okay. This is the agency loop of terror. And this is not by any means what this call is about today, but basically someone sells you on a really big promise. You get a ton of leads who don't really have money, or if they come in, they usually don't buy a plan of care. And you're sitting there just shuffling through all these leads, wondering what the heck, while this guy is pocketing all your cash. Then 3 months later, which is 100% the average lifetime of a patient with the physical therapy agency niche, we're in the coaching program that's pumping out all these agencies, and they teach that you should only expect to hold on to them for 3 months and then move on to the next person. Usually what they say is, oh, you're just not a good fit for this strategy, and pretty much load the whole blame onto you for it not fitting their system. And then you basically go and hire the same person, and that's why you get stuck. Most of the people that come to us are fed up with freaking agencies. They're just done with them. And you can honestly, it's not hard to see why. Have you guys noticed how many agencies are popping up these days? People that are boasting just insane promises, and almost all are the exact same promises because they're coming from the exact same coaching program. It's insane. Okay. When we did our research on these people, we definitely realized that they're all coming from the same coaching program. That's why every single one has the same cookie cutter script strategy and that they paid for, but they never actually learned. Okay. They seem super prepared and informed because they're using an expert's, template. They're following a template. And that's why it's really hard to find someone that can actually deliver on what they're saying. Okay. When they do that, like I said, we in one of these groups, and I'm going to get off this in a second because I don't want to turn it into a rant, but like in this group, we're in their mastermind, and some of these agencies are commenting things like, what am I supposed to do if leads are over $50 a day? And it's just like, they're literally pumping out agencies, equipping them with the tools to make people think that they're an expert, and they don't even know how to run ads. Like, that is appalling. And that is something that I refused to be compared to or related to, which is why I decided I'm going to war with agencies. I'm going to teach every single practice how to run those strategies themselves, because they are insanely easy and everyone can do them themselves, so that when it comes to hiring, it's not out of desperation. It's from a place of, I know what I'm doing. I'm ready to put my attention elsewhere, and I'm going to delegate this. Okay. Because now you're in a position of power. You know what to ask, you know what to expect, and you can make more educated decisions on who it is you want to hire to do your marketing. That is what I'm all about. That is what Clinical Marketer is. We're teaching people to become clinical marketers. That is our everyday wake up, go to sleep with that mission. That is what we eat and breathe on our team now. So obviously, no wonder so many clients are jumping ship and wanting to fire their agency. Just wondering how many people of you, if you're working with an agency, can't wait to stop paying your agency. Like everybody, it's insane. So basically, what this ends up happening again is, when you're working with these agencies, and it doesn't matter if you're a really good agency or a bad agency, eventually there's this issue with the agency model where even if you're really good at what you do, okay, the market changes. It is a fickle beast and it changes rapidly. So even if you're a really good advertiser, you have to be able to be ready to rotate graphics and rotate your avatars, rotate your messaging quickly. But for the price tag that agencies are able to charge physical therapy practices, they're unable to be able to provide that level of customization. So there is an inevitable end with agencies that eventually your avatar and your messaging are going to dry up, because in order to scale an agency, you can't provide the level of customization that most practices need. And that is why you'll never stick with an agency that long unless they really like you and they're willing to do that level of customization. But again, that's just not a scalable thing. And like I said, most agencies, their lifetime value is 3 months. I have no interest in only helping someone for 3 months. Okay, that is not what I want. I want to transform someone's life. I want to make a real impact. I have no interest in helping someone with their marketing only to push them off and have them go find a new way to attract new patients. That's not what I'm about. Okay, none of that sits well with me. It actually really ticks me off to see that happen to so many people that I've worked with for years. So let's all agree to abide by one very important rule in business. No matter what business you're in, you should never, ever outsource what you cannot do. I've done this a lot. Okay, I've been self-employed since I was 19, and I have done so many businesses I've actually lost count. And every single time I try to outsource something I don't know how to do, I end up regretting it and then end up trying to do it anyway. So if there's one thing you take away from this training tonight, it is that you need to start learning about the things that you need other people to do, so that you can be educated and know the right questions and know what to look for from the people that you want to delegate that problem to. So with all these WANA agencies running amok right now, it is more important than ever to learn how to do your own in-house marketing and learn the fundamentals that make marketing work. So let me ask you this. How many of you are ready to stop paying that marketing agency? Like legit. How many of you, if you never had to hire an agency, you wouldn't do it? I bet most of you. With what I'm about to show you, you're going to learn not just that, but you're going to learn how to expand it and grow upon it for months. And you're never going to have to hire an agency until you really want to. And one of the biggest problems that people have trouble getting past is that they think that they're hiring an agency because it's going to save them time. It does not save you time to hire an agency. You spend so much more time tinkering with what they set up to make sure it matches your brand and asking them to change their avatar and finally get them to use the messaging you want them to use, and finding new agencies to do it after you burnt through the first one and you need to find another one. You spend so much time going back and forth with agencies that it's insane how much time you actually save if you just learn how to do this stuff. Because once it's set up, you only need to check in on it every now and then. Okay, once you learn how to do it, which takes 2 weeks, we teach it to people in 2 weeks. And we could do it easily in 1 week, but we give it 2 weeks so people can really chew on the material. Okay, it is really easy to learn how to do this stuff. You just got to sit down, spend 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks, and you're going to know how to do all this stuff. Okay, it's not hard. Learning it and managing it yourself does not take longer. It does not add on too much stuff to your plate. It is insanely manageable. And of course, the upside is you make way more money and you always have your foot on the gas with the growth of your business. Okay, so if you're looking to grow your practice and do it quickly, the way that most coaches really don't teach is, the way, if you want to do it in a way that's predictable and fast, this is absolutely the way to do it. And the way that most people out there are saying to grow it, it's too slow. It's not predictable. And it's just not the way I personally prefer to do business. And so if you're ready to find out what it truly takes to generate dream clients on a daily basis in a way that's not directly linked to your time. I mean, one of our students brought in $8,000 last month and he spent less than $500. That's insane. Okay. And we taught him how to do this stuff. He knows how to do it. And now he's making insane profit margins doing it himself. And I'm going to walk you through all of his ads. I'm going to show them to you. You can copy them if you want. We're going to walk you through those in the second P for tonight's training. So I'm going to show you what works. It's incredibly fast. And I'm going to show you every single piece of it. So tonight I'm going to teach you the 3 Ps. So you know what it takes to really grow your practice using Facebook ads. Now, this is my last call to action before we dive pretty deep into the material. If you're ready for the 3 Ps and you're ready to figure out how this stuff actually works, you can start implementing it, comment me below. I'm going to see that stuff. Let's see that some people are ready. Yeah. Okay, so tonight is going to have 2 phases. Number 1 is I'm going to walk you through the 3 Ps. I'm going to show you their names. And when I show you the names, at first you're going to think holy cow, that's pretty obvious. But once I actually explain how each of them is used, you're going to be blown away and think about all of your sales and all of your marketing in a fundamentally different way. Okay, I expect this training to be about 30 to 45 minutes, and it's going to be insanely valuable. It's going to be all value. At the very end, for phase 2, I'm going to invite some of you and open up an opportunity to work with us. And I'm going to invite you to a 50-minute ad game plan. So not selling anything. I'm just going to invite you to a conversation to see what makes the most sense for you. We have what I believe is the absolute best Facebook ads training for physical therapists in the world. And I want every single one of you to make the biggest impact that you possibly can. So if it makes sense for you and you like what I'm presenting here tonight and it's a good time, I'm going to invite you to work with me and my team more directly. Hopefully that sounds pretty cool and you have no problem, if I'm providing 45 minutes of value, inviting you to one of our programs. If you've got a problem with that, this probably isn't the group for you. So finally, let's dive into this stuff. The 3 Ps that we're going to be covering tonight are 1, prominence. You have to make sure that your brand is in the right place and not diluted through omnipresence all over the internet. You need to make sure that wherever you are constantly focusing all of your attention to gain enough presence for people to actually know that you exist. Far too many people are all over the place. We're going to dive deep on that tonight. Number 2 is polarity. So many people are so focused on, okay, I'm ortho and I'm just going to put out a message that speaks to every single ortho patient there possibly is. And that is just a very, very poor strategy for marketing. Okay. That goes against every marketing principle that there is. You need to be able to make people feel special within your marketing and make them feel unique. Okay. When you put everyone in a bucket, people are offended and they immediately push it out. So we're going to go into polarity and we're going to talk sales psychology and how the brain on a chemical level actually processes the information that you're delivering to them. So you can start to leverage how the brain actually works to make people feel like they just have to click on your stuff and read whatever your offer is. So we're going to teach you the techniques that we use to basically get past the brain's gatekeeper, which is the hippocampus. Number 3 is persuade. We're going to go deep into the psychological principles that force people into taking action. Okay, we're going to cover a couple different laws that have been studied for decades that you have to understand in order to effectively not just sell online, but sell in general. It is incredibly important. If you implement the 4 persuasion techniques that we're going to show you, you're going to be in a really, really good spot. Okay, so, and we do have a guide to go with tonight's training. So if anyone would like access to the guide, make sure you comment guide, and then a teammate is going to follow up with you tomorrow morning and send you the replay as well as the guide. So number 1 is prominence, ensuring that you are visible as humanly possible to your dream customers and not diluting yourself with omnipresence too early. Okay, omnipresence is a really big word in marketing right now, which means basically be in all places at once. Be on Instagram, be on YouTube, have Facebook groups, start Facebook ads, attend local events, doing all of these things. And what they really are just distractions. Okay, you need to go through them much more methodically. And anyone that tells you one strategy is, better than the next one or not to do one of those strategies is full of it. And they're trying to sell you something. Okay. Every marketing strategy, let me just say this on the record. Every marketing strategy can work. Every single one. If someone is teaching it, it is because it worked. Okay. What is really dangerous is to believe that, some marketing strategies don't work and some do, because every single one does. What you need to do is find the one that you can get excited about and passionate about and dedicate some time to every single day. But you need to find one. You need to work at it because you need to understand these things. If you're going to own a business, you need to understand the principles and the laws that grow a business. You can't outsource your growth. You cannot. If you're at a certain stage where you're already pretty big, then you can start to outsource. You can hire someone, bring them on, but you can't outsource your growth before it's too early. Okay, that's like, I don't know, like a restaurant hiring a chef and then telling that chef, like, what do we make? It doesn't make sense. You need to learn how to do this stuff yourself and then bring someone on that can help manage it and make it run more efficiently. Okay. So again, prominence. Okay. Let's talk a little about organic marketing. It's awesome. Everyone loves referrals and freebies and all the free stuff because it doesn't require a lot of work. Okay. It requires the minimum amount of work, but they're never really free, right? Most coaching programs, no matter where you are, whether in physical therapy, in the coaching consulting business, whether you're selling tape, okay, any coach that's out there, one of the most common hooks headlines that draw attention are, get clients or get patients without running ads, or, book appointments without spending $1, things like that, because they catch a lot of attention. They're like, oh, I like money. I would rather not spend it if I don't have to. Makes sense. But nothing is free. What they're really saying is, instead of spending your money and leveraging your money to work for you, you're buying patients with your time. That's what that really means. You're walking into businesses, you're networking, you're DMing people, you are posting content on Facebook, on Instagram, hammering YouTube. You're pushing as much content out there as possible. These things take a ton of time. And I don't know about you, but I value my time infinitely more than money. There's no lack of abundance in money. You can always find ways to make money. Time is so much more important, especially if you're a business owner trying to scale this thing and have dreams for yourself and your family. So what do all of these coaches that say this have in common? Okay, none of them have a clue how to run Facebook ads. None of them. And in fact, like, we run Facebook ads for a lot of them, and I'm not casting shade in any way. I'm not trying to say that these organic strategies don't work, because they're incredibly important. You should not trade those strategies for Facebook ads. That's not what I'm saying. What you need to do is supplement them, because right now, if you're only relying on referrals, then everything is one-to-one. Okay, everything is tied directly to your time. And for me personally, okay, you can never not network with people. You need to build rapport in your community and establish some sort of base. Okay, DMing people, I did for a really long time, and it works. Okay, it absolutely works. I learned so much about the people I'm trying to target. So I learned so much of my messaging from that experience. Every single time I was at the gym, I would sit on a bike and I'd message 30 people I didn't know. And that was some of the best advice I ever got. But the thing is, that sucked the life out of me. That doesn't work for me. I don't like having my growth directly tied to my time, because what happens when you want to take a day off? Your business isn't growing. It doesn't grow when you're not working. And whenever it's based to your time, it is 100% a hope-based growth strategy. Okay, there's no that you're hoping that referrals come through. You're hoping that the person DMs you. You're hoping people watch your content. It is entirely a hope-based marketing strategy. There's no reliability. There's no predictability. There's definitely no scalability unless you're hiring people. But when you hire people, it adds more fixed costs and it brings down your business, and it's just not efficient. What you need is a one-to-many approach, to get your brand out there in the marketplace. You need to establish prominence by leveraging one-to-many approaches. If your only growth strategy relies on isolated and random referrals, your brand's presence is more like twinkling stars in the sky that's covered by a blanket of light pollution, when what your brand really needs in order to hit the goals that you've set for yourself, that you wrote in your freaking journal, is to be as prominent as the freaking sun. Okay, if your entire growth strategy is based on random referrals and luck and hope, your brand is not prominent. It is completely driven by other brands' prominence. That's an important thing to think about. Remember that analogy. So how the heck do you actually do this? How do you become as prominent as a freaking sun? Facebook ads. Go all in on Facebook ads, because with $10, you can get $10 with a very targeted message and an offer. You can put it in front of 1,000 people who match your dream patient's profile, their interests, their behaviors, their online behaviors, their purchasing behaviors. Facebook has more data on us than any other business in the entire world. They're insanely good at finding your clients if you don't fiddle with too many things. And we'll go into that in another training, but who wouldn't spend $10 to put their brand in front of 1,000 dream patients? Who? I'll tell you, the people that wouldn't want to do this, they don't realize how easy it is to pull people out of their seats if you have a tailored, unique message and offer that speaks to them on an emotional level. Some sort of tailored offer and message that speaks and pulls the emotional levers that are going on in their mind. If people realize just how easy it is, just by having one sentence in an ad to pull in a new patient, everyone would do it. And right now you need to jump in and do it, because not enough people are doing it, and it's a huge opportunity for practices everywhere. The people who don't know their customers well enough to know what messaging pulls them out of their seats, those are the ones that are fighting Facebook ads. Because if you have those things dialed in, Facebook ads are really freaking simple. So let's dive into what makes Facebook ads the ultimate gravitational freaking juggernaut for attracting patients online. So let's move into part two, which is polarity. Your message and your offer should not only draw the right customers to you, but they need to repel the freebie seekers and the people that just suck the energy out of you and the people that you don't enjoy working with or that you know you can't get a good outcome for. Maybe they're really great people, but you might not take their insurance, or that you just know that there's someone that for their particular problem that might do a better job than you. Okay, it's very important. It's even more important actually to repel people. Okay, every single person, to give you an example, every single person has one of these things. Something that they just can't resist, that when they smell it, they have to stop everything that they do and just like sniff the air like a freaking crazy person and find out where that smell is coming from. That for me is roasting onions. I love the smell of onions when they're cooking. I probably love the smell more than I actually like them, but I freaking love it. But there's two sides to every single coin here. While I love the smell of roasting onions, one of my best friends, Ty, begins to freaking like explode and melt like the Wicked Witch of the West whenever he smells onions. Like, I've watched the man actually physically throw up just from the scent of onions because I was cooking a Denver omelet. That's insane, okay? And that is what we need to make sure that we're doing within our ads, okay? So how do you actually do this? What the heck does this have to do with actually marketing your ads in-house? Absolutely everything. The giant list, a massive list of leads of people that have, maybe have your problem is completely useless and a massive, massive waste of resources unless it has the right people in it. One of our students, Tim, worked with one of these WANA agencies and was thrilled at first because he just got slammed with a landslide of these new leads, and excitement faded super freaking quick because he quickly realized that he was following up these leads a lot and they weren't exactly picking up. And a couple of these leads, he called 12 times before they picked up the phone, and he realized that these leads weren't even in his state. They weren't even in his freaking state. That is the most frustrating thing ever. So you have to do this. You have to make sure that you're doing this in-house. And my point really is repelling leads is almost more important than attracting the right ones, because when you have a list of all of these poor leads, one, you have to pay the cost to acquire all of those leads. If you're not doing it, you have to pay a team member to follow up with them. And on top of all of that, the opportunity cost from you spending all of that time following up with poor leads is probably so much bigger than the cost. I don't know how to quantify that, but it is so much more important to repel the wrong leads than it is to attract the right ones. So that's another really important concept to remember, because again, the opportunity cost of wasting time on bad leads is horrendous. And so when you're working with these agencies, you need to make sure that those leads are actually the people you want. Otherwise, you are wasting so much time. And even if it might seem like you're making a profit, I would calculate out what that opportunity cost might be looking like spent on those poor leads, and see what your real expenses are here. So how do you actually figure all this stuff out? So you have to get laser focused on who it is you actually want to advertise to. And like I said, it has to go deeper than you want to work with, ortho patients. Facebook, like I said, is the best private detective in the world. And if you give it a good enough description, it can deliver upwards of $15,000 a month to your practice, like it did for one of our students, Ben. Okay, it's so incredibly powerful. If you can do this by writing your ads as if you were designing them for only one person. Obviously, we want way more people to come into our business, but if you write these ads to talk to one very specific person, think of the best person, the best patient you had as of late that finished their plan of care, they made a referral to you, and they're funny and crack jokes, and you just freaking loved working with them. Think of that person and write ads to that person exactly. You start the ad by calling out who that ad is for, to actually get them to stop scrolling. So running moms in Milwaukee, or intelligent and resourceful businessmen, something like that, where it's just like, oh, I am an intelligent, resourceful businessman. Thank you. I will read on. Okay. You need to call them to stop them in the tracks so they stop scrolling and pay attention to you for half a second. That is all you have. You just need to hook their attention for half a second to actually hook them in with what comes next. So once you have them for that half a second, then you have the opportunity to earn 5 more seconds with what we call the relatability question. All this is a yes or no question that only the avatar you're marketing to would say yes to. That's how you start to repel people. So an example of this is tired of crossing your knees when you sneeze. Okay, that is a very, 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 very specific relatability question that there's only one person that would actually say like, oh my God, I know exactly what he's talking about. This is, of course, written for an incontinence avatar. There's not a single person that this ad would resonate with besides the people who are emotionally charged problems tied to that experience, people that have incontinence problems. Okay, you'll notice that we also didn't call out, do you have incontinence? That is way too direct, and that's just darn lazy advertising. Okay, that may draw attention. It might get the people that have incontinence to click on it, but it doesn't set the stage that you are any different than any other specialist is out there. It seems like lazy advertising. It really does. And it almost seems like gross. Like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to click that. I don't want people to know. But when you call it out a little bit more discreetly in a way that only they understand, then it works incredibly, incredibly well. The person who can an important philosophy or rule within marketing is the person who can describe the problem the best is perceived to have the best solution. Okay, so when you're writing your ads, you need to get really creative with describing and calling out the problems that you're helping with, because that particular relatability question I used previously, do you cross your knees when you sneeze? That shows people, it's like, wow, this person really, really understands my problem. And you immediately are perceived to have the best solution. So people are willing to travel further. They're willing to pay more because you describe their problem better than anyone else. So that, of course, is so important because it sets the stage for your quality and your expertise, but it also only attracts the people that you want and repels all the people that you do not want. So very, very important. Once you have their intention by, calling them out and hitting them with the relatability statement, and you basically proved that you understand their problem better than anyone else, now you have the opportunity to present an offer. Now that you have their attention and you position yourself as the go-to authority for the avatar that you're targeting, let's talk a little bit about how to actually convert these absolutely dopamine addicted Facebook scrollers. Okay, so number 3 is persuasion. Okay, the only goal of marketing is to get past the brain's gatekeeper and get them to the point where they're making a decision. Okay, and getting past that gatekeeper, it's the hippocampus part of your brain, is the most important thing in your advertising, because every single person almost on the earth, but at this point, basically has blaster shields around their attention to prevent them from being distracted or their time being wasted by things that are not relevant to them or just seem scammy. Okay, when it comes to people's time, before I dive into persuasion, I forgot. I want to show you guys and walk you through some of the best ads that are working right now. So this ad that I'm about to show you earned one of our clients $8,000 last month, and he spent, I think it's just under $500. So let me share my screen with you and show you what's actually working. So feel free to copy this down, run this ad. Of course, all the secret sauce happens, in between when they opt in and before they come in the appointment. But this is a really good way for you to get started with Facebook ads and kind of, get the hang of it. So, okay, so you should be looking at my screen. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. That would be helpful. I don't want to walk you through this, and this is just going to be 2 seconds. So you can see here, last month, this brought in 34 leads. Okay, these 34 leads amounted to $8,000 in revenue. This particular person was selling $2,000 plans of care, so he didn't need that many conversions for it to be a big deal. But $8,000, and he spent, it was just over $500, $576 for an $8,000 income. That is pretty darn good. I'll take that ROI every single day. So check out what this ad looked like. It is nothing fantastic. It is pretty darn simple, actually. Okay, so DC area runners, call them out. finding yourself thinking, if I could just find a way to stretch out properly. Very, very, very simple relatability question, but it enters the conversation happening inside of a prospect's minds. And that's what gets them to be like, oh my gosh, this person knows exactly what's going on, or like Facebook stalking me. Okay. It almost like catches people off guard how well targeted your messaging is when you really, really nail it. And that's what gets them to just throw money at you basically. So my name is Dr. Jesse Lewis. Feel free, actually, probably shouldn't say to reach out to him, but Jesse's a really, really cool guy. Love the man. I've been working with him for a long time. So the ad goes, call out relatability statement. My name's Jesse. We're doing something special to promote our practice. And then we give them a tailored offer. Notice that we're not doing a free discovery visit here. We were doing, this essentially is, he does nothing different than he normally does during a discovery visit. We just present it differently in a way that is tailored to the avatar to make them feel special and make them feel like they can't get this anywhere else. This person made this offer for me, and the conversions skyrocket. We don't like doing free discovery visits for a lot of reasons, which I'll go into in just a minute. But we break this down, and then we present a price. Okay, so you guys can go back here and go back to this video and screenshot this stuff. But I'm going to carry on. That's the ad that brought in $8,000 last month. Simple. Advertising is simple. As long as you have someone that shows you the frameworks and the laws that make marketing work. Okay, so cool. So let's dive into persuasion, which you saw a little bit in that ad. So I'm gonna, as I go through each of these persuasion tactics, I'm gonna bounce back to this ad to explain, okay, here's how we actually put this into action and used it so that you can model it and figure out how to fit it into your own business. So like I said, when it comes to time, nobody, not the freaking president himself, gets the benefit of the doubt. No one gives the benefit of the doubt with their time, unless it's like your grandparents. I think that might be the only exception to the rule, grandparents. Consumers are more knowledgeable and connected than ever, and they were blasted with extremely good offers that would have been absolutely insane to give away 20 years ago. Okay, people are so used to getting blasted with the best offers on earth that we are literally used to them. We are spoiled by them, actually. So the part of the brain, the hippocampus, this is part of the brain that is entirely in charge of deciding what is and what is not worth remembering for us. So to put it plainly, it's working its ass off 24/7 with how many different ads and messages we're getting nailed with every single day. Okay, so basically this is the part of our brain that subconsciously raises red flags at anything new. Anything new that's coming up, it's raising red flags and being like, okay, is this something that I need to think about, or is this something I can just let go? So if this seems like it can be a waste of time, it's basically immediately, automatically prompting your fingers to just scroll right past it. Okay, so it's either going to back out of your website or it's going to cause people to just scroll right past it and never pay attention to it. So the only goal of marketing is to bypass the hippocampus and prove to the brain subconsciously that this is not going to waste their freaking time. So as a clinical marketer, your job is to bypass the hippocampus by inspiring curiosity or fear of missing out. That is how you get past the hippocampus. So your offer, you need to get past the hippocampus so that you have an opportunity to actually show them your offer. Most of the problems are with advertising is that no one's actually seeing your offer. You're not creating enough curiosity or FOMO to actually get people to see the dang thing. So the number one thing that you need to focus your attention on when writing ads or presenting any sort of offer is making sure that you're bypassing the gatekeeper of the brain. Okay, so our students and clients leverage these 4 different secrets, these secret weapons that we use. It's our arsenal of different marketing tools and levers that get people to take action. Okay, so we basically have to, if you think of yourself as a salesperson, you kind of have to schmooze the hippocampus, which is basically the front desk, into letting us through to the real decision maker, which is the frontal cortex. So the ways that we do that, the 4 parts of our psychological arsenal are price, scarcity, urgency, and incentives. Those are the 4 ones that we use. There are more. There are plenty more, but those are the primary ones that we use. So we hate promoting free discovery visits. A lot of you have probably heard me rant about this, but for one, that doesn't set the that physical therapy is one of the most valuable and important services if you want to live a long and prosperous and happy life where you're not miserable because you can't even get off the freaking chair or the toilet. Like that's a lousy way to live. Okay, so advertising free discovery visit does the entire industry in complete disservice. It's definitely not helping you, but it also attracts all the wrong people. And as we talked about in point 2, that is a huge freaking problem. Okay, when you advertise something free like that, it basically puts a giant stamp on your forehead that you are exactly the same as every other practice in town. Every single practice has a free discovery visit or a free screen or free phone consultation. And when you advertise it, all you're telling them is that, okay, this person is also the best, so I'm going to find the one that's the cheapest or the closest to my house. Okay, we need to make sure that we're advertising things differently. As I said at the very beginning of this thing, most people, if you're following a crowd, you get lost in it. Don't get lost in the crowd because you're copying what other people do just because you think that's what's supposed to be done. Okay, that is not even close to true. Okay, so we like to advertise vouchers for like $27 to $47, as you saw in this ad. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the ad as I'm teaching this stuff to you. Okay, so as I'm going through this, read that ad. So we also know from decades of psychological research that when given the time and the space to make decisions, we are going to use that entire space. There's actually a law it's escaping me. It's like an actual like psychological law that when given the space to make a decision, we're going to use that entire space. That's why I personally really like deadlines, and when I like feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place, because I get stuff done. If I have too much time, I'm going to take that time. The same is true with your prospects. So when you give them too much time, like if you have this indefinite offer that's never going to end, they're going to be like, oh, perfect. I can think on it. I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat some Doritos, watch some Netflix. I'm going to forget about it because everyone's basically a goldfish nowadays with how much dopamine they're blasting their brains with. Anyway, so as you can see within this ad, we're using price. Okay, we're using scarcity and urgency to force people into taking action. So the reason we use price, even if you're an insurance-based clinic, you need to have a price on your ads. Here's why. So one, you're advertising on Facebook. People aren't looking for physical therapy. Most people don't even know what the heck it is. So when you offer like a free discovery visit or offer free anything to someone that doesn't understand what the service is, the perceived value is zero. And the odds of them actually taking action on it are pretty dang low. So for the people that have your problem, that don't understand what physical therapy is, you need to give them some sort of tool, some sort of stepping stone to help them set the perceived value of your services in their mind. So now they might not know what physical therapy is, and they might not know what a total body movement screen is, but they know it's worth $60 and it's normally $225. That's a pretty good deal. That's worth some of my time. I'm going to check that out. Okay, so basically the rule that we go by is use whatever your hourly rate is, and then come up with some sort of voucher price. Usually 27 to like $60 is we float around in. Figure out what's right for you. Some spaces are much better than others. Like in Jesse's area or in New York, a $20 voucher might seem super cheap and a huge waste of time to the more affluent people. So you got to figure out what works for you. Then of course, have some testimonials because social proof is everything. Okay, so those are the primary psychological levers that we use within our ads. Now, the last one that we use is super, super important. Okay, it is by far the most wasted and underappreciated resources on the entire internet. Okay, I saved this gem for last because it is so incredibly valuable when you finally start to use it, because you're going to realize that you are doing this wrong on your website, on multiple places, within your Facebook page, on your ads, on your forms. It is everywhere, and you're not using it to nearly as powerfully as you could be. The biggest waste of space is the thank you page on websites and on forms. Okay, 9 times out of 10, when we audit some sort of physical therapy website or ad account, it's always, the thank you page is always a super boring, uninspiring thank you page that usually says something along the lines of, thank you, a team member will follow up with you. Like that is so boring and uninspiring. It's insane. What is that lead supposed to do? Just sit there and wait for someone to call? No, they're going to forget, or they're going to find somebody else. Okay, that is you need to inspire them, get them excited, and tell them what the next step is. That's the whole secret. Just instead of having a plain thank you page, tell them what the next step is to create, because they already created and generated their own momentum to move them forward. Give them the next step to carry that momentum forward and make them feel excited about their purchase. Okay, someone just gave you their contact information and said that they want to pay you and they want to hire you. Get them excited. You should get excited about it. Create an experience that reflects how you feel about them wanting to do business with you. So what we do on our thank you pages is sometimes we'll have a thank you video thanking them and congratulating them on claiming one of our vouchers. And then we'll tell them, okay, here's what you can expect from your appointment, and then tell them what the next step is. Okay, so sometimes thank you videos work very well. One of the main and most popular things that we do that's very unique is we present what's called the thank you offer. We not only tell them what to do next, we also incentivize them to take action. So we'll usually do something like, if you call and book in the next 20 minutes, we'll throw in a free massage, or we'll take $10 off your voucher. And that gets people to call your practice. Instead of you having to chase down leads are chasing down you. And this is insanely effective. It is so simple. It doesn't have to be a crazy, extravagant thank you page. It can literally just be like text with a bunch of links to actually call and book the appointment. And then a little paragraph that says, hey, if you call and book in the next 20 minutes, we'll also do this. And so many people, usually about 30 to 40% of these people actually take action and end up calling you, which is a really, really beautiful, beautiful thing. One of our clients, Katie, she went through our program and she was kind of skeptical about doing the whole thing. She thought it was kind of schemy, but she turned on the system, and literally within an hour, she had someone book, email her, text her, and call her and leave a voicemail begging to still be able to get the the thank you offer, because she called a little bit after 20 minutes and she was worried that she couldn't get it. And she was practically breaking down Katie's door to claim that thank you offer. So go back, check every single one of your thank you pages and make sure that you're capitalizing on the momentum that your leads are creating and carrying that through to take the desired action that you actually want them to take. So to go over all this stuff, doing in-house marketing is more important than ever, because there are so many terrible agencies that are out there. I literally saw an ad from one of these coaches that's training these agencies for a done-for-you agency. You don't even have to, his marketing was you don't even have to know how to market to run an agency. That is what is flooding our market right now. And it's terrible. Okay, so it's harder to trust agencies now than ever. And it's also easier than ever to do your own in-house marketing, especially when you're shown exactly how to do it. So try in-house marketing. Try it. Get rid of your agency. Try it, because what they're doing, the campaigns, when I show you how to actually manage them, it is upsetting how actually easy the campaigns are and how manageable they are for yourself to either do or for front office staff to do. You don't have to be an expert. Okay, you don't need a degree. Okay, the barrier to entry to starting an agency is so disgustingly small. It's insane. Anybody can do it. And I have plenty of people I can refer you to who have implemented this stuff themselves that would blow your mind that they're actually doing it and managing it on their own. So try out in-house marketing, fire the agency, save your margins, and start creating the impact in your community that I know you're capable of doing. Okay, you do that through the 3 Ps. Okay, make sure you're prominent. Make sure your messaging and your offers are polarizing, and make sure that you're being persuasive. Okay, don't leave it all open doors. You need to find a way to eliminate the space in people's mind that they use to distance themselves from making poor decisions. If you know that you are the freaking best at what you do, which I know all of you do, you're almost obligated to help these people do the thing that you want. Okay, a part of that obligation and part of the journey of being able to help them is convincing them that they need your help. Okay, they know that they have their problems, they have their own past experiences and failures that make them afraid to make the right decision. You need to use and utilize the psychological principles that are going to help that person make the right decision for their health. Okay, it's not schemy, it's using human psychology. Okay, that's how the world works. It's basically math. Okay, if you want someone to do something, there's certain processes that the brain goes through in order to make a decision. Help them make that decision by using those 4 persuasion tactics that I taught you. So Those are the 3 Ps, everybody. Now we're moving on to phase 2. For those of you who are interested in learning how to implement this in-house stuff, maybe you've ran ads in the past, maybe you're working with an agency that's not really going as well as you think it would, and just want to talk and explore what your options are. We have an invitation for a select few of you to jump on a 15-minute ad game plan call, where we're basically going to review what is going on in your business right now. What patient population do you work with? Which one do you want to work with? How many visits are you at a month? How many do you want to get to a month? And then we're going to drill down into, okay, what is working in your business right now? Where might there be some bottlenecks that are slowing you down? And what is a game plan for the future that is going to help you hit your goals in the next 6 months? So if you want a 15-minute strategy call with me and my team, comment strategy call below, and we're going to follow up with you either tonight or tomorrow morning to get that scheduled. So guys, thank you so much for being here for the 3 Ps of running successful in-house marketing. This is a really, really valuable program. So make sure if you just joined in, go back and watch the beginning, because you need to understand why in-house marketing is so important and just how easy it is when you nail down those 3 Ps and start eliminating distractions and zeroing in on what really is creating growth within physical therapy today. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll talk soon.